This is from the Petty Corner. I'm Petty Diana, and today I have Maria Favela here with me. She is a Power Slap striker, and she made her debut March at Power Slap 12. Welcome to the Petty Corner.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, I'm so glad to have you, and hopefully we can get the Power Slap fans to get to know you a little bit. I know you were on the pre-recordings, but we didn't. I don't know if the results are out for that yet. So, and they haven't posted the full video or anything like that. But you were born in Mexico?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Mexico.
And then when did you come to Vegas?
I've been living in Vegas since 3 years ago, and I just came here for training at the beginning. But then I ended up feeling like this city is my hometown.
Yeah? You said you came here for training. It was MMA training?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, and then you're a professional, a pro MMA fighter?
Yes, I'm a professional MMA fighter, and then I've been fighting with the Invicta Fighting Championship, and one of my last fights was in September last year.
You fought Invicta in September?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Do you have plans to go back to MMA?
Yes, I wanna get back to MMA. Probably if we can get something for June, July, and I already get back to full MMA training. But I'm still waiting for that Power Slap call.
Awesome. Okay, so I do have to talk about Power Slap. How did you get into that?
At the beginning, my manager offered me a Power Slap match in in December, but I say no because I got knocked out in my last fight. So I wanted the kid to take care of my brain a little bit because I was feeling weird. And then he offered me again Power Slap, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. I will be the first Mexican in Power Slap, so let's just do it. And I told my manager that let's do it. And when he offered me the first time, it was in a heavier weight class, so I was like, no, I wanna go lower up because it was in 145 with Sheena, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my manager no, I wanna do 135 Power Slap. I don't wanna be in 145 because that's not my weight. But even MMA, I fight in 135 or 125, so I didn't want to risk my brain.
Yeah. How did you feel competing at 135?
I felt great competing in 135 because it's not hard for me to make that weight, and especially because I've been trying to get back to 125 for MMA. So I was so close to the weight, so make weight was so easy for me. It was so smooth, and I was feeling good and confident on it because I've been in that weight class for a lot of times, but I think I can go to 125.
Okay. Do you normally compete in MMA at 125?
Yes.
So then if they called you for the next card, would you try to get to 125 for that card?
Yeah. I will try to do 125, or even if they offer me 135, I'll do it too.
You do 135 again?
Yes.
Were you surprised when you got slapped for the first time? Because some people say it's shocking.
I was happy because at the beginning I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to knock her out with the first slap, but honestly I was already trying to put it on my mind you're gonna receive a slap. So I didn't want it to think okay, I'm gonna knock her out and then we'll get out of there. Not just think about you're gonna receive slaps too. So I wanted to be ready to receive a punch, and I was so happy that I was the first one. But I think at the same time, I messed it up a little bit. My first slap, I think I made a club. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It was a slow slap because I was measuring and it was something new for me. So I made the mistake because I didn't know how to slap, how to feel it or how to throw. So I was really nervous about being the first one.
Yeah. I think it's hard just going up on stage as your first time because you don't know. But at least now that you have that little bit of experience, you can go back, watch your tapes, and kind of figure out what works for you and kind of work on that for the future. But how soon do you want to come back to Power Slap?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Let's go. And then were you a part of the training camp, the one that they brought in before the event?
Yes, the first training camp, I was there, and it was Wolverine, and I don't remember the name of the other champ.
Anthony Blackburn.
Anthony. They were explaining us a lot of technique, so it was pretty neat because it's not only go there and slap. There are so many tips to understand the mechanic of the movement, their body, the physique, where the power comes from the bottom, from the top, from the core, and there was a referee explaining us too about the rules. How do you play with the rules too, with the times? How do you slap? What is a clubbing, a flinch? What can help you? What's not? So that's what I've been telling the people when they ask me how was it? It's really something complicated, and there's so many more things behind, not just go there and slap.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that because they think that you guys just go up on stage and stand across from each other and slap, but they don't understand the rule set and the mechanics and the training and everything that goes into it. So,
Yeah.
and you are in remission right now from Stage 3 Hodgkin Lymphoma. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
How did that change your training and everything getting back into MMA and then into Power Slap? Because did you have to take a break in there?
It was kind of complicated because even when I was sick, the days that I was feeling good, because when I had the chemotherapy, I was feeling terrible for a few, like 4 or 5 days, and I had a chemotherapy every 15 days. So the days that I was feeling good, I was trying to do like meets or go to the gym or try to run or do something. So in my mind, I always was thinking like, I'm a fighter, I'm a fighter, I'm a fighter. Like I'm sick, but I'm a fighter. And when the doctor told me that I was in remission, I just came back straight to Vegas to train, and then I took an MMA fight 9 months later. It was
Oh, wow.
such a bad decision, but I was rushing because I wanted to be back in MMA because it's my life. It was my life in that moment. And I remember when I was at the hospital, I was watching UFC, and that was my little window of my life. So I remember I was telling to the doctors, I'm gonna get back in there. And doctors were like, well, first we're gonna see if you're gonna survive. And no, I'm gonna be back in there. And then 9 months later, I was stepping back in Victor's cage. The thing that changed for me, it was kind of hard to get back to that mindset, like a military mindset, like just to go, 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 don't complain. But when you had an illness that it's your same body it's attacking you, sometimes when I was feeling any pain or something, I was getting scared, like, oh, it's coming back, or maybe I had cancer in the bone or in the lungs, blah blah. And before I used to train with fractures, and I don't even care, or sick, and I don't even care. I was pushing myself, but now what I changed me, it's I take care of my body. I listen to my body, and for example, I push my body to the limit, but not more in a stupid way to be in the line of being injured or overtraining or getting sick because I didn't listen to my body.
What were like some signs that you had to kind of figure out that you had the cancer? Like what was alarming to you to go get checked about it?
I was getting ready for a fight, and I remember at the beginning I was feeling great. I was getting recovery for a hand surgery, but I was feeling great. I was training with Whaley Sang's coach, and then I had a lot of cardio, and I was on weight, and I was fast, and I had all my tools good except my hand. So when I recovered from the hand, and then my manager offered me a short notice fight, and I took it, and then from one day to other, the first time that for me was weird, it's when I was singing a song, I couldn't breathe. I had to take like more air and more air. That was weird for me. And then when I was showing up on trainings, and when I was pushing me or having explosions, I couldn't recover it, so I couldn't breathe. So I had to take more time between rounds. For example, in sparring, like besides taking me a minute to recover or 40 seconds, I have to take a whole round to recover and then go again, and then take another round and then go again. And then I start to lose a lot of weight, a lot of like weird fevers, and then I had sweatings in the middle of the night from even with the AC, I just was covered in sweat, a lot of pain on my chest, and then I was going with doctors, and they were telling me you had COVID, it's a long COVID, or but you have a bad treatment of COVID, and then I flew back, no, and then a doctor from Mexico sent me a few shots of dexamethasone. So that was the only thing that was helping me to breathe. So I was applying me a shot of dexamethasone, go to train, and then go to hyperbaric chamber, and then the next day get another shot. And that's what I was doing. But I didn't realize what I was doing. I was surviving because my lungs were so swollen that I was so close to having a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And when there was a point that I was like, okay, I don't have to cut weight because I don't know why, but I'm losing tons of weight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna work with my coach specifics for the game plan of the fight. I just need my body to work with me 15 minutes. That's the only thing that I need. 15 minutes. I don't need six hours a day. I just need 15 minutes. But there was a moment that my coach like, you can't breathe. Like you just can't breathe. We were working out for a minute that you just can't breathe. We have to pull you out of the fight. Like there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to pull out. We didn't know what was going on. And when I get back to Mexico to look for help. Even it took me like 7 months in Mexico because they were telling me the same. Even with MRIs or X-rays, hey, it's COVID. It's a long COVID. With blood work, it's COVID again. You're swollen again. So when I was with my oxygen so low in my blood, because I was checking my oxygen in the blood all the time, because my grandma had a lung cancer. So I know how much oxygen that human needs. And I remember the doctor told us, if your grandma has minus 90, like minus and 92, run to the hospital. And I was in 82. So I was like, maybe this little machine is wrong, because how I can have only 82% of oxygen in my blood. So when I called the doctor, another doctor, he told me, like, I want you in an emergency room now. And we went to an emergency room, and then they just started to find out everything.
So you were in Vegas when you started developing symptoms, and then you went
Yes.
back to Mexico to try to figure out how long did it take the doctors to figure it out from that time frame?
When I was in Mexico, when I was jumping between doctors, it took 7 months. And when I found out a cardiologist, he's my cousin, because he's the nephew of one of my aunts. But when I was talking to him about how I was feeling, for him and his team, they only took him 1 day to discover all the things that I was struggling. I remember they took an MRI, and then they saw what I had. They were asking me about my symptoms. They just came to me with the MRI, and I was like, well, we found this. You have lymphomas, and we have 3 options: HIV, tuberculosis, or cancer. I was like, can I choose? They're like, no, we need to figure out what it is. The HIV test, of course, I didn't have HIV because I was about to fight, so I already have my blood work. So it's like, there's no way. Tuberculosis, it was negative, and then they found that it was cancer. So in that moment, with high fever, they put me in the surgery room. They opened my neck because I had a lymphoma on my neck, took it out, and I started to study and then they started to find out where was it, which kind of cell was, if it was too aggressive or not aggressive, which stage, and they took like a day. They were so fast because I was in a really, really bad condition. I was so close to having a heart attack because my mom, we didn't have money at the time, and my mom was asking the doctors, like, can I take her out of the hospital and then bring her back when you have the result? And he was like, no. If you took her out, she can have a heart attack at any moment. So she had to stay here. We have to stabilize her and then figure out what's next. But we were in the situation like, how are we going to pay this? Because it was a private hospital.
So, and then you stayed in Mexico to continue your treatment there then? And did you come back to the U.S. afterwards then?
I just came here a few times to see my friends and my coaches, train a little bit, and get back to Mexico because I have to get back for a chemotherapy every 15 days. So I was stuck in Mexico. I couldn't go anywhere. I just could go somewhere for a few days and then get back.
How long did it take you from, like, when you got diagnosed to beat it?
It took me 6 months.
And you still trained MMA during that on and off?
Yes.
How did you find like the drive and the desire and willpower? Because that's just like something so traumatic happening, but then still having that drive and that willpower to continue. So like how did you find that?
Like when I was sick, it was having a MMA fighter mindset. Like when you're going through a fight camp or during a fight, like you don't care how much pain do you feel. You don't care how tired you are, how hungry you are. You just have to do all of this to get the win. So that's what I was thinking. Okay, you have to go through surgeries, chemotherapies, blood work every single week, and lose my hair, blah blah blah. So I was like, just do what you have to do. Tell to the doctor, yes sir, and then you're gonna get the win. That's what I was thinking all the time. I was having my fighter mindset all the time. Even my mom was kind of mad sometimes because she was telling me, why you didn't even ask the doctor? Because I don't ask. I just say, yes sir. That's what I have to do. And that's what was helping me. But it was hard to get back to MMA because when the doctor told me like you're on remission, I felt like I was so tired to survive. So try to get back to that MMA mindset again, or that fighter mindset. It was really, really tough because I felt cancer just drained me. Like it took all my fighter mindset away from me. Because when the doctor told me you're in remission, I already started to cry. I already started to feel what I was living in the past.
And do you still have to go for like scans and stuff to make sure that it doesn't come back or anything?
Yes, I have to take a PET scan every 10 months. And but my doctor told me I'm gonna have the last one in June, and if everything goes well, he said it's the last one, and I'm gonna be fully discharged because he said my oncologist says when people are in remission and they believe cancer is gonna get back, they can see a few signs like immature cells in the blood or a few things, and he told me like we don't see nothing that on you, so we're gonna make one more MRI and that's it. We don't have to submit you on radiation for 5 years, just one more and that's it.
What is your message to, I guess like the world or like anyone who is going through cancer or anything hard in their life to help them persevere through it?
You have to well, in my case, I trust in God. That's what I was thinking, like, okay, God, please save me. I don't want to die. Like, I'm just going to trust you. Trust your doctor. Stay in the line. And it doesn't matter how bad it sounds. If there's a hope, stick to that hope. And you have to work hard. It's not only like go there and have a chemotherapy and then go there and eat pizza and shit and using pain meds with actually you can be a little uncomfortable. Humans don't like to be out of the comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can manage that little pain, stay away from all the chemicals and help your body. Our body needs a lot of help. And I think my biggest how do you say consejo? Like my biggest message is like treat your body as the same as you want to live your whole life. And if you're facing something horrible like cancer, just trust in God and do your job. It's gonna happen. It's just a chapter of your life. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna pass. It's gonna be a chapter. That's it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I know that's like a really hard thing probably to talk about, but I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. I cannot wait to see you back on the Power Slap stage and look forward to seeing you fight in Invicta, hopefully in June.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I actually really love to talk about this because I like to share my experience. Because sometimes the people that are not in their shoes sometimes want to give like an advice or something, but they don't know how to tell somebody who's facing like a cancer or something. But I like to share like I survived, and I like to tell the people my story and how I was thinking, how I made it, and I want to be as soon as possible as Power Slap. So I'm always with my manager like, when's the next one? When's the next one? And he's like, maybe International Fight Week, but hold on, we're gonna see. But I want to be there soon. So hopefully I can be there super soon. And I've been doing my research. I know the first one was my first Power Slap, so I know now I can do way more better.
Yes, I love it. Well, they keep holding some training camps and stuff, so maybe you can go to the next one and get some more practice in there as well, too.
Of course, if they call me, I'll be there. Yeah, I really want to be there.
I love it. Thank you.